This is DD India and you're watching Express News, a program where we bring you top 100 news of the day. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Let's begin. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the centenary celebration of the historic conversation between Sri Narayan Guru and Mahatma Gandhi, two of India's greatest spiritual and moral leaders, in New Delhi. The celebration brings together spiritual leaders and other members to reflect upon and commemorate the visionary dialogue that continues to shape India's social and moral fabric. Prime Minister Modi asserted that Operation Sindoor made India's firm policy against terrorism very clear before the world, adding that India has shown that no place is safe for terrorists who spill the blood of Indian citizens. Prime Minister Narendra Modi shared an article highlighting the remarkable transformation of India's food processing sector over the years with a dynamic approach that has empowered rural entrepreneurs. As part of Operation Sindhu, India's Minister of State for External Affairs, Pabitra Margarita, received 281 Indian, 3 Sri Lankans and 2 Nepalese nationals evacuated from Iran. With this, a total number of 2,576 Indian nationals have now been brought home from Iran so far. The third flight from Sharm el-Sheikh landed on Tuesday, carrying 268 Indians from Israel. The flight was received by Union Minister L. Murugan. Another Indian Air Force C-17 flight evacuated 165 Indian nationals from Israel. They were received by Minister of State Dr. L. Murugan upon arrival in New Delhi Tuesday morning. The aircraft landed at 8:45 hours from Amman, Jordan. As part of Operation Sindhu, 94 Indians have returned so far from Israel, with the first batch of 161 Indian nationals evacuated from Israel arrived in New Delhi earlier on Monday. 13th Passport Seva Divas was celebrated on Tuesday in New Delhi, marking a milestone in India's evolving passport service landscape. Minister of State for External Affairs, Pabitra Margarita, applauded passport authorities across India and abroad for improving efficiency, transparency and accessibility in passport delivery. The day's key announcement came from External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, who unveiled the Passport Seva Program 2.0 and confirmed the nationwide rollout of e-passports, a transformative step towards modernizing passport services. India's Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar attended a function at Muzaffarpur in Bihar. The Vice President underscored the last 10 years of Prime Minister Narendra Modi government. He said that last 10 years have been historic in terms of exponential economic growth and phenomenal infrastructure rise. India's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on Tuesday delivered the keynote address on the topic Export-Oriented Growth for Viksit Bharat during the Exim Bank Trade Conclave 2025 in New Delhi. The two-day National Conference of Estimates Committees of Parliament and State Legislative Bodies, which was inaugurated by Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla at Maharashtra's Vidhan Bhavan, Mumbai, has concluded. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will lead a high-level Indian delegation to the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Defence Ministers meeting, which begins in Qingdao, China on Tuesday. The 107 regular course of the Indian Military Academy marked a significant milestone today, celebrating 25 years of commissioned service to the nation. The 16th meeting of the India-Nepal Bilateral Consultative Group on Security Issues was held in Pune on 23rd and 24th of June 2025. Both sides agreed to further strengthen defence and security cooperation. Indian Army is strengthening its operational readiness in counter-terrorism, investing worth nearly 2,000 crore Indian rupees. The Indian government announced the portal launch of the application process under the scheme to promote manufacturing of electric passenger cars in India, which will be open for applications from June 24th till October 21st. Tests are still underway to identify the victims of the deadly June 12th Air India plane crash in Ahmedabad. Authorities have verified the identities of 253 victims so far, out of which 240 are passengers and 13 non-passengers. Indian astronaut Shubhanshu Shukla's Axiom 4 mission to the International Space Station is now eyeing a launch on Wednesday, June 25th. The mission is set to lift off from Launch Complex 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that he held off tougher strike against Iran after speaking to President Donald Trump. Netanyahu claimed that Israel destroyed a radar installation near Tehran in response to Iran violating the ceasefire. US President Donald Trump accused both Israel and Iran of violating ceasefire on Tuesday, hours after he announced it, sharply rebuking Israel for its military response following the truce deal. Israel Katz earlier said that he had ordered the military to strike Tehran after he claimed that Iran fired missiles in violation of the ceasefire. Iran denied the Israeli claim of violating ceasefire. Its armed forces said that Israel struck Iran in 3 stages up until 9 a.m. local time. Iran's Supreme National Security Council earlier said its armed forces are prepared to decisively respond to renewed attacks. The ceasefire announcement followed an Iranian attack on United States forces at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar in retaliation for the US strikes on its nuclear sites. NATO leaders gathered in The Hague for a summit focusing on boosting defense spending amid rising global tensions, with member nations expected to agree on spending of 5% of their gross domestic product. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met Dutch Prime Minister Dick Schoof in The Hague and announced plans for co-producing drones with partner nations like the Netherlands. A Ukrainian drone attack on a multi-story apartment building outside Moscow triggered a fire and injured 2 people early on Tuesday. Moscow's governor confirmed that Russian air defenses intercepted 2 Ukrainian drones heading for the city overnight. Ukraine claimed its air forces downed 339 of 352 drones and 15 of 16 missiles launched by Russia in the attack on 4 Ukrainian regions. During a trip to Norway, French President Emmanuel Macron visited a French frigate from Brest, the multi-mission frigate Normandie, as Norway has shown interest in acquiring 5 vessels of this type. French President Macron also laid a wreath at Normandie Place Memorial in Oslo to commemorate Norwegian soldiers who fought during the Second World War. French union leaders and government ministers gathered at Matignon for a meeting with Prime Minister François Bayrou after overnight pension reform negotiations failed to reach a deal. The US Supreme Court has cleared the way for President Donald Trump's administration to resume deporting migrants to countries other than their own. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro accused Salvadoran President Nayib Bukele of committing crimes against humanity after El Salvador's top court rejected Venezuela's bid to intervene for 252 imprisoned Venezuelan migrants deported from the US. In a major anti-drug operation, El Salvador's Navy seized 6.3 metric tons of cocaine worth $157 million between June 2nd and 10th. Tourism and local business in the Dominican Republic came to a halt after massive amounts of sargassum algae were washed ashore in the province of Samana. Thailand's military has closed border crossings into Cambodia to almost all travelers, including tourists and traders, citing security concerns as tensions between the 2 Southeast Asian neighbors remain escalated over a simmering border dispute. Emergency responders in Indonesia are trying to reach a Brazilian woman who fell off a cliff while hiking around the country's second highest volcano at the weekend as rescue efforts entered the fourth day. Camel Day regains ground, bringing the taste of the desert to northern France near Morges. After jumping over 1,000 points over news of West Asia's ceasefire, India's benchmark equity indices settled with muted gains on Tuesday amid the reports of truce violations. So Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange ended 158 points up to settle at 82,055. Nifty at the National Stock Exchange ended 72 points higher at 25,044. Gold prices fell to their lowest in nearly 2 weeks on Tuesday. On the multi-commodity exchange, gold futures fell to 98,807 rupees per 10 grams. Silver futures dipped 1.12% to 1,06,502 rupees per kilo. Oil prices tumbled by nearly 5% on Tuesday. Brent crude, the international benchmark for oil prices, fell to $68 a barrel. Wall Street rallied on Monday as prospects of the US Federal Reserve cutting interest rates as early as July offset fears that Iran would disrupt crude transport in the Middle East. All three major US stock indices closed higher. The S&P 500 gained 57 points to end at 6,025, while the Nasdaq Composite Index gained 184 points to end at 19,631. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has said that the European Union will not give up its right to make policy decisions in negotiations with the United States to avert higher US tariffs on EU goods. Taiwan's China Airlines is postponing the retirement of some of its older aircraft due to delays in getting Boeing 787-9 jets and may seek compensation from Boeing. Australian airline Virgin Australia shares rallied 8.3% on Tuesday after its $439 million IPO, a transaction that dealmakers hope will revive a subdued listings market. We're heading for a short break now. We'll be back with Express News in just a bit. Stay tuned to DD India.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching Express News on DD India. Let's resume. India Meteorological Department has forecast heavy to very heavy rainfall over northwest India from 25th of June onwards, with rainfall activity likely to continue over many parts of central, east and northeast India during the next 7 days. The West Indian state of Gujarat witnessed a severe monsoon onslaught, with various parts of Surat getting flooded after incessant rainfall in the region. The India Meteorological Department issued yellow alert for June 24th. Heavy rain lashed parts of India's financial capital Mumbai last night as Mumbai continues to experience a variable monsoon season, with meteorologists forecasting more scattered showers over the coming days. Heavy rainfall has inundated southwest China's Guizhou and Guangxi provinces, prompting the evacuation of hundreds by emergency personnel. Mosquito-borne dengue fever was rarely a major problem in Bangladesh's coastal districts, but some hospitals are so full of those with the potentially deadly virus that patients are being treated on the floor. Hundreds of firefighters and volunteers are battling a massive wildfire on the Greek island of Chios for the third day. The fire has prompted authorities to declare a state of emergency and issue multiple evacuation orders for villages and settlements in the area. In the Zabe-Kalski region of eastern Serbia, crews were battling intense wildfires after approximately 350 hectares of area was scorched. Seville residents and tourists sought relief from soaring temperatures that prompted official weather warnings across South Spain on Friday. Germany is facing a weekend of high heat with up to 36 degrees Celsius in some parts of the country. Tens of millions of people sweltered across the United States northeast and Midwest on Monday as record high heat disrupted electricity supplies and train travel. In Ulaanbaatar, a school inaugurated a national standard Mongolian archery field, giving a major boost to its student archers. Key artifacts unearthed from northeast China have confirmed the existence of a systemic ritual sacrifice culture over 5,000 years ago. The released findings from northeast China included burnt artifacts and ceremonial objects, evidence that proves the existence of rituals documented in the later historic periods. Chinese scientists have reintroduced an endangered herblet to its original habitat in southwest China's Yunnan province in a bid to restore its fragile population. Researchers from University of California, San Diego have carried out tests on a 10-story building with its own built-in earthquake to test its structural integrity. The building's skeleton at UC San Diego is made from cold-formed sheets of construction-grade steel that are then shaped at room temperature to make individual structural components. The Vera C. Rubin Observatory in Chile has released its first images of deep space, showcasing millions of galaxies, stars and asteroids. Rubin Observatory's initial photographs have revealed a stunning cosmic tapestry displaying a panoramic view of the Virgo galaxy cluster. Equipped with an advanced 8.4-meter telescope and backed by powerful data processing systems, the observatory stands as one of the most powerful asteroid tracking tools ever constructed. Venice has been gearing up amid excitement and controversy as it prepares to host the high-profile wedding of Amazon founder Jeff Bezos and journalist Lauren Sanchez next week. Prominent locations such as Fondazione Scini Hotel Cipriani, the Gritty Palace Hotel and the Church of Sant Giorgio Maggiore are potential venues for the high-profile wedding events. Legoland in Billund has unveiled a new exhibition showcasing the construction of the Fehmarn Belt Link, an 18-kilometer immersed tunnel set to connect Germany and Denmark. Once completed, Fehmarn Belt Link will be one of the longest tunnels of its kind in the world, connecting the Danish island of Lolland to the island of Fehmarn on the German side. In Gironde, southwest France, scientists are documenting signs of recovery in the Hostens Nature Reserve, where wildfires ravaged the land in 2022. From newly recorded plant species to the return of freshwater turtles, the slow comeback of biodiversity offers hope for the scorched ecosystem in southwest France. On to entertainment news now. India's cult classic Sholay celebrates its 50th anniversary. To pay tribute to the iconic movie, the film is set to have the world premiere at Cinema Ritrovato Festival in Bologna, Italy. Marvel Studios' television series Ironheart finally took off in Hollywood on Monday after a lengthy trip to the small screen. Originally shot in 2022 for a 2023 release, the series Ironheart follows young technological genius Riri Williams, who was introduced in 2022's Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Hollywood actor Brad Pitt hit the red carpet in London for F1 alongside co-stars Damson Idris and Kerry Condon. He plays a veteran driver mentoring a rookie. Actor Brad Pitt stars in F1 as rebellious racer Sonny Hayes. The film, backed by Warner Brothers, hits theatres worldwide starting Wednesday. Hollywood actor Tom Cruise made a brief appearance at the European premiere of F1 with Brad Pitt, who plays the lead in the Apple original film. American actor Jonathan Roumie, known for playing Jesus on a popular television show The Chosen, visited the Vatican on Monday. The Chosen is a historical drama that follows the life of Jesus Christ from gathering disciples to his ultimate persecution at the hands of the Roman Empire. Rock band Oasis member Liam Gallagher has hit back at critics of the Oasis' new campaign Live Forever, writing on social media platform X that Oasis do not discriminate. K-pop group Blackpink is set to return to the music scene with a new song. The four-member girl K-pop group is all set to release a brand new single, 3 Years. And on to sports news now. The Leeds test between India and England is set for a dramatic finish. The match is currently underway on day 5 in London. Indian wicketkeeper batter Rishabh Pant was reprimanded for his on-field conduct during England's first innings on day 3. Former India left-arm spinner Dilip Doshi passed away due to cardiac arrest on Monday, aged 77. West Indies women defeated South Africa by 6 wickets in the third and deciding T20 at Barbados. Sikandar Raza of the Seattle Orcas was found guilty of breaching the Major League Cricket Code of Conduct during his team's match against LA Knight Riders. San Francisco Unicorns extend their lead at the top of the Major League Cricket 2025 table with a 47-run win over MI New York. India began their AFC Women's Asians Cup 2026 qualifiers with a dominating 13-0 victory against Mongolia. Fresh off his Paris Diamond League victory, Neeraj Chopra will compete at the 64th Ostrava Golden Spike on Tuesday. French club Paris Saint-Germain defeated Seattle 2-0 to reach the knockout stage at the Club World Cup on Monday. The Spanish giants Atletico Madrid were knocked out from FIFA Club World Cup despite defeating Botafogo 1-0 in their last group game. Palmeiras snatched a 2-2 draw against Inter Miami. The result has sent both teams through to the knockout phase. Inter Miami, which features Lionel Messi, is the sole MLS representative to advance to the knockout phase. Leeds United have signed Slovenia centre-back Jaka Bijol on a 5-year deal. English club Manchester United have submitted an improved bid for signing Brentford striker Brian Mbeumo. And Gareth Bale has confirmed that he is part of a group trying to buy his hometown club, Cardiff City. And that's it in this edition of Express News. Thank you for tuning in. Namaskar.